Okay, you guys, so I'm basically going to review multiplying two fractions together. Yesterday we practiced cross simplifying. I'm going to go over at least 5 examples from the book, just so that you can be a little more prepared for the reteaching and practice today. So today we are going to begin with multiplying. So our first example, we are going to be multiplying a whole number times a fraction, and we already know that we can't multiply a whole number times a fraction. So in order to do so, I have to rewrite 13 as an improper fraction, and what I do is place a 1 underneath. And now I have 13 over 1 times 1 over 5. When this happens, I am left with 13 times 5, 13 divided by 5, and then I divide. 5 can fit into 13 2 times, and I'm left with 2 and 5/3. I'm just kidding. 2 and 3/5. Just kidding. 2 and 3/5. So that's my first example. My second example will be followed by a fraction times a fraction times a whole number. Now, I'm multiplying 3 items. I am multiplying 2 fractions, and I'm multiplying a whole number. However, I know I can't do so, so I have to place a 1 underneath. Now I'm left with 3 different things. Here is where Emily's question comes into play. Emily had asked me, well, how do I know, or how do I cross simplify when I have more than 2 factors? Well, what you can do is you can ignore one factor, or one of the fractions you're multiplying, and then ask yourself if any of the other opposite numerators and denominators have a factor in common. And so I'm ignoring 2 over 1, and it seems like we do. If I ignore 3 over 4, 1/3 and 2 over 1 don't have anything in common. However, if I ignore the 1/3, 3/4 and 2 over 1 have 2 in common. So it doesn't really matter where you begin, because you will still get the same answer. So I'm going to choose to ignore 2 over 1, and I know that 3 and 3 share a common factor, and in this case it is 3, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. Can I still cross simplify? Yes, I can, because I can still cross simplify a fourth and 2 over 1. And I can rewrite this as 1/2 times 1 over 1 times 1 over 1. And I get 1/2. Let me do a third example. 1/3 times a fourth times 2/3. What you're doing, you're going to be cross simplifying. You're ignoring one fraction, doesn't matter which one, to see if any of the opposite numerators / denominators have a factor in common. They don't. So let me try ignoring 1/3. Oh, 1/4 and 2/3 share a common factor. And it's 2. So therefore, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then I will rewrite as 1/3 times a half times a third. And I am left with 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 over 18. Don't forget to box your answers. Now, we are going to go over one more, and then that'll be it. So you're going to notice that for this lesson, you are going to be asked to, you're going to have to follow the order of operations. For example, 4/5 minus a half times 3/8. If we're following the order of operations, and we use PEMDAS, we know we start with parentheses. I'm following the operation which is located inside the parentheses. So I'm subtracting first. 4/5 minus a half can't happen. It won't happen. Because we need to find a common denominator for both. That means I'm rewriting the fractions. I know that they both have 10 as a common denominator. So I multiply here by 2, and I multiply here by 5, then by 5, then by 2. I rewrite my fractions as 8 over 10 minus 5 over 10, and I'm left with 3 over 10. The difference is 3 over 10. Am I done? No, because I have to carry down the times 3 over 8. Now, can I cross simplify here? No, I can't. So I just multiply straight across horizontally. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 times 8 is 80. And I'm left with 9 over 80. However, I just can't leave it as 9 over 80 because 9 and 80 have just kidding, 9 and 80 is the answer. They don't share a common factor. So 9 over 80 is my answer. Let me do one more, and then that'll be it. So let's do the last one. So a half minus 4 over 8 times 3 over 7. We're following PEMDAS, so I'm solving for the parentheses. I'm solving for the operation inside the parentheses. When I do so, I know that 1/2 and minus 4/8 can't happen, so I have to find a common denominator. So I rewrite this as, I know that they have 8 as a common denominator, so I'm only going to rewrite the half as 4 over 8 minus 4 over 8, and that is equal to 0. Can't forget the 3 over 7. 0 times 3 over 7 is equal to 0. So my answer is 0.